Okay, so once again, a very warm welcome to all of you all who have joined in today. Welcome on behalf of the Examiner Catholic News Weekly. It's the Examiner that's actually organizing this webinar, this two-part webinar. So we had the first module last Saturday, where Pearl gave us a kind of an experience of Zoom meetings. I would like to request everyone to put their audios on mute, please. Yeah, so please put your audios on mute, at least for the starting portion, right before we have this jump into an yeah. So as I was saying, at the last meeting, Pearl gave us a kind of an experience of Zoom meetings and how to conduct a few of the things, and as well as give us the whole experience of breakout rooms where we could have discussions in smaller groups. So today is more a time for like to learn the technical steps of how to actually go about doing that. Setting up a Zoom meeting and using some of the features. So whatever we experienced in the last meeting, Pearl will try and show you how to actually go about doing that. Huh? And we remember the context, like Pearl was mentioning just now, is that uh, a lot of these things are for people who are hosting the meeting. Okay, because if you are just someone has sent you a link and you are just participating in a Zoom meeting, all you have to do is click the link and participate. You don't have to do much. But if you want to organize or you want to host your own meeting for a particular group in your parish, then you need to know these things. Okay, and it's better that you do it on a laptop rather than a mobile phone, because many of these features for the host are available on the laptop, on a desktop. The mobile version of this one, they don't give you a lot of options. It's more so you can participate, but if you want to set up a meeting and you want to be the host of the meeting, you need to have a laptop for the best optimal experience. Okay, so please, so that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so without further ado, like I said, there are a couple of new people also at today's meeting who are not there last week with us. So I have requested Sinara once again to just give us a brief introduction of our resource person today, Pearl D'Souza. So the ones who are coming in today new are know who our resource person is today. Okay, Sinara?
Yes, Father. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, like Father said, that Paul had already taken a session one. But since for those who've not been there, this is just like a small intro for Pearl. So, Pearl basically hails from Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Orlem. She's a behavioral consultant and director at Free Pearl Training Development Private Limited. Her forte lies in working with teams to harness resources and maximize potential. She's an accredited Belbin team role consultant and facilitator for Belbin accreditation workshops. Pearl also works in the area of youth development. She's a mentor at the Take Charge program, a leadership program for Catholic youth, which is run by the Archdiocese of Bombay. She is also on the editorial board of the Teenager Today magazine. In addition to all this, she also makes time for youth ministry and especially the young adults ministry at her home parish. So we welcome you once again, Paul, and we are all ready to have fun for your second
Yeah.
session.
Thanks, Sinara. And yes, and just to also note, please, that of course we'll have some time for questions towards the end. In the meantime, if you have any questions during the session, do put it down in the chat box. Okay, type your questions in the chat box, and I'll keep an eye on the chat box, and we will answer your questions towards the end. And we can also have like some time where you can ask Pearl questions directly as well. Okay, so Pearl, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Father, and thank you, Sinera. Good evening, everybody, and good morning also. So fantastic to meet everyone. I was actually looking forward to meeting everyone today. So thanks so much for coming back. And I think, as Father Joshan said, it is a really beautiful day. A very happy feast to everybody. Of course, happy Independence Day also. And since it is the Feast of the Assumption, of course, definitely going to ask Our Lady to be with us, to pray for us, and really to guide us, as I think, because in this part of today's session is where we are really looking at the how of creating these meetings and the how of actually sending out responses, etc. So may she really bless us as we use all of this to really strengthen our ministry in our parishes and in all that we do. So great. So with that, welcome everybody. And what are we going to be doing today? So let me just share my screen. Okay, great. You're able to see the screen, Father and Sinera?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So this is what we said we would do between the last session and today's session. And of course, our first session was more in terms of us being participants and kind of experiencing the meeting. And as Father Joshan said, now today's session is more of the technical bits. So the whole bit of how do we really set things up. So if you have a paper and pen with you right now, fantastic. You can make some notes. If you don't have a paper and pen, don't worry, okay? You can just sit in because as Father mentioned, we will be sending across this presentation also. But you may just want to kind of keep in mind certain aspects as I speak about it. What I have done is really try to kind of show you today what are the different screenshots that you will see on the screen so that you get a little familiar in terms of how do you create all of those different options. And I have to thank everybody and Father Joshan for this opportunity because while putting this together, I learned some new things about Zoom myself and I learned some new settings. So I've changed some settings on my own Zoom account and I wouldn't have known that at all if it wasn't for this session. So thank you, Father, for the new learning. I think constantly learning in this new phase. Great. So one of the things that we did last time, if you remember, is we were all in breakout rooms and we had discussions on what are the elements of effective and engaged meetings. Okay, and we had this discussion. We came back from our breakout rooms and then we had a big group sharing. So what I have done over here is I've actually put up the same thing that we shared, but what I did this time is I've actually kind of clustered them. Okay. So you'll realize that all the things that we shared kind of can be clustered into some main aspects. And this is something important for us to keep in mind because this is actually like mining the group wisdom. Yeah. So one aspect is we said effective resource utilization is something that maybe we should be keeping in mind when we're looking at effective meetings. And this includes time management, is there distribution of responsibility amongst all of the team members, etc. So kind of keeping that in mind. The second aspect on the left-hand side is opportunities. We spoke of the opportunities that are now available also particularly because of online. So a couple of you all said, people who don't interact otherwise are now interacting. There are no geographical barriers. And we also said there is need that there is good connectivity. So that's something to also kind of keep in mind. And we'll talk a little bit about that also today at the end. We said the agenda is really important and more so I think anyways it's important for an effective meeting and particularly maybe also in an online session. So that's one more thing that we need to kind of ensure that we have when we are hosting online meetings. I think this is beautiful, careful topic choice. And we said we need to ensure that the topic is now definitely interesting and relevant. I think gone are the days when sometimes we would go in for I don't know, maybe like a Sunday school or a confirmation session and say, okay, this time we'll cover this. But now, all the more when it's online, we kind of need to spend some time to ensure is there common interest? Are we actually able to go to the crux of things? Comfort, is everyone feeling comfortable? That's an important thing to kind of also keep in mind. And we said interaction. Is everyone getting a chance to speak? The fact that we could see each other, hear each other, people have been enthusiastic while sharing. These were all elements that we said are important for effective meetings. And I think, therefore, if we can ensure that our online meetings have some aspects of all of these elements, then we know that we are creating effective online meetings. So now, if I think Father has muted the person. Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, so these are the different elements that we spoke about, and now we're going to be looking at what all did we do the last time. Okay, so we said in order to build, connect, engagement, and interest, these were the three things that we looked at. Okay, so we got into, one was screen sharing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing my screen, and everyone can see the presentation. We got into breakout rooms, and we also did the online poll. Okay, we will look at today the how of creating all of these. And we will look at two more. One is an application called Mentimeter, And the reason why we are doing Mentimeter is this is new learning for me, that the online poll option that we did last time is now actually available only on the paid account of Zoom. I assumed that it was available on the free account also, but as Father Joshan and I were discussing, and then we checked, the poll option is available on the paid version of Zoom. But there is another platform that's called Mentimeter. I have been using Mentimeter a lot in my work. Visually, it's really fascinating. So we will try and experience Mentimeter also, and that could be one resource that you could possibly look at if you would want to use. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll also kind of just show you how to create the Jamboard. And Jamboard was basically this entire thing that we did last time was on Jamboard. And then it was very easy for me to just move around these post-its, etc. Okay, so we'll just we'll do a quick input on Jamboard also. And then, of course, very important, as Cora was mentioning, how do we create our own meeting? We're very used to the Zoom link being sent to us, and then we just click on the Zoom link and we are in the meeting. But if we have to host the meeting, then where do we go to send that link and find that link? Okay, so we'll also be looking at that today. So this is largely what we're going to cover, and hopefully this is exciting enough for today. Yes? Is that exciting enough? Okay, I can see some smiles and I can see thumbs up, so that is very good. I love the smiles. The smiles are totally coming on. Okay, brilliant, fantastic. So then let's get started with the simplest one. Okay, let's get started with screen sharing. Okay. Now, in screen sharing, before we move on, as Father Joshan said, just reiterating that when you are creating your own or hosting your own meeting, it is much easier and better if you can do it on a laptop. So if you're doing it on your laptop or if you're doing it on a desktop, that's actually much easier, because some of these options are actually available only on the laptop itself, and we will tell you which ones. Okay, but you'll find it also much easier, and the interface is also much easier on a laptop. Screen sharing is something that you can also do on your phone. Okay, it's something that you can also do on your phone. So now what I'm doing is I am showing you a snapshot of what all of this looks like. Okay, now this snapshot that I am showing you is a snapshot of my laptop. Okay, when I come in, this is what my laptop looks like. And can you see all of those options below? Okay, that's basically on Zoom. That is basically the only place where you have to go to if you're a host, because all the options are right down on your laptop. When you want to share a screen, you will basically just go to share screen. It's as simple as just clicking on that button. Okay, so you click on that button. When you click on that button, okay, everything that is opened in my laptop will actually come over here on the screen. So you can see there's a desktop, there's whiteboard, iPhone, Microsoft, all of these different things. This is what I think is the simplest. I just go to the first option, which says desktop, and I go to desktop, and can you see that blue button down that says share? There's a little blue button down that says share. I just click on desktop and I say share. Now what happens is, whatever you can see then from now on is something that everyone will be able to see. It's as simple as that. So you click on the desktop and then you say share. And then what happens is you open your presentation, or you open whatever you want to show the participants. Okay. So you're basically going to the share button. You click on the share button. You will have an option of all of these different things. You just have to click on desktop. Once you click on desktop, it shows whatever is on your screen. So then you just go open your presentation, open the mail, whatever you want to show individuals. Okay. Now, if you are on the phone, okay, and now most of you may be on the phone. So whether you're on the phone or whether you are on a PC right now, okay, see if you can if you're on the phone, just tap your screen anywhere on the phone and see if you are able to see the share option down. Yeah. So tap on your screen anywhere and you should be able to see, you should be able to spot the share option. Please don't press it right now. We will get to see like 40 screens. Okay. Everyone will be sharing their screen. So right now, don't share your screen. Just only locate the share button. Okay. So if you locate the share button, okay, on your mobile phone, very similar, you will click on that share button. And in your mobile, this is what the interface will look like. If you click on share, these are all of the different options that you will get. Okay, so if some of you are on your cell phone, and if you click on that right now, in fact, you see the same thing on your cell phone. And over here, all you need to do is just go to screen. That means whatever you see on your whatever then you see on your phone, everyone will be able to see. So as soon as I click on screen, what happens is it goes to, and so it'll tell you over here, it says Zoom will start capturing everything that's displayed on your screen. So it's just letting you that whatever you see, everyone will be able to see. Okay, and then you say start now, and then what it'll do is it'll actually go to your home page. Okay, this is my mother's homepage. I took her phone and I took her screenshots. Okay. So when you said, if you say share screen on her phone, so the first thing is it will go to your home screen, your home page. Now from your home page, you go and figure out whatever you want to show people. But just remember, whatever you see, they see. Okay, so if you open some pictures and they're personal pictures, everyone will get to see them. Okay, so this is on your phone. So this is something, if you're doing it on your phone, just keep in mind. So for example, if I am here and I click on WhatsApp and I see my entire WhatsApp list, everyone will be able to see it. So this actually becomes handy when, for example, if you want to click on WhatsApp and you want to go to, say, a church group, and you actually want to go through something that somebody sent and you want everyone to see it, this becomes really useful. Okay. Therefore, it's easier if you are on a laptop. Because on a laptop, when you say, share the desktop, you can actually see what you want to show. It becomes much easier. Okay. So this is with screen sharing on your mobile phone. To stop screen sharing, all you have to do is find the Zoom icon again on your phone, wherever the Zoom icon is, click on it, and it will take you to this page. And then you just stop sharing. That's it. Okay, and you stop sharing, people won't be able to see your screen anymore. Okay, so this is with screen sharing. Okay, now as Father Joshan said, we will send you this presentation because it's step by step with screenshots for your phone. So try it yourself. You can even try it with one more person. So once we tell you how to set up a meeting. Get a family member. Actually, the person also doesn't need to be there, but just get the person to sign in and just try sharing just share the screen and see what happens. That'll help you really, and you'll get very comfortable with it. It's really simple. Okay. So this was with screen sharing. One question that had come up last time was, I think when you're trying to share your screen and it was a video and you're saying that the others are not able to hear the video. Okay. Now, the thing is, this is again, if you try to share your screen from a phone, supposedly people are not able to hear the video. But if you are sharing your screen from a laptop, okay, and you go to YouTube and you play a video, then everyone should be able to hear the sound. Because when you share the screen, there is also an option that says share sound. In some cases, you may just need to click on that share sound also. But that doesn't seem to be available on your phone. So from the little reading that I did, it seems that if you are sharing a video, people won't be able to hear the sound if you are sharing the video on your phone. But a laptop is much easier. Yeah. Any queries on sharing of screens? We can take that right now itself. You can just unmute yourself and all good. Okay,
Hello.
someone's saying over here, I shared it from my laptop, but I don't get the sound. It was me who asked the question. Oh, I'm surprised how you're not getting the sound, because maybe the next time what you can do is check and see when you share the screen, there is in fact a little section down that says play sound. In fact, what I will also do is I'll make a note of it. I'll send you a link which is to the Zoom help link, which actually gives you the screenshot. But I don't know your name. It's coming out as admin, the person who had this question.
Well, this is Anna Fernandez.
Anna, yes. Okay, Anna, yeah. You should be, Anna, are you using a laptop or are you using a large tablet?
No, laptop. I use a laptop. This is for my Sunday school, when I take up the classes for the 10th standard, and I've seen it invariably. the students can watch the video, but
Yeah.
as of now, I can never get the sound. They cannot hear the video.
Oh, okay. Have you, the next time when you share the screen, if you can just have a look, there is a little option down that says share audio. It's right below. And there's a little checkbox. So you've got to click on that checkbox.
Actually, Pearl, if I can jump in, yeah, you
Yes,
know what?
Father.
I use Zoom also for my confirmation classes, and I had
Oh,
the
yeah.
problem also. I had the problem also for my first session. I think 1 or 2 sessions when I was sharing the video. So as when you are when you want to share a video, when you press share to share a video for your participants, you get an option. Now Pearl was saying it's at the bottom, but you know I get it at the top there. I get it at the top
Okay.
right hand corner. So I
Okay.
think it varies. Sometimes it shows up at the top, sometimes at the bottom. But invariably on the top, when you're sharing a video, you will get an option saying share audio sounds, or it will come share your computer sound. Okay. So you
Okay.
just need to check that box, share computer sound, and then your students will be able to hear the sound of the video as well. Yeah, because if you don't check that box, then they will only be able to see the video, but they will not be able to hear it, you
Okay.
know. So next time when you're sharing a video, look out for that option on the top right hand corner on the bottom. It will come up, it will pop up on your screen, and you need to check that box. Okay, so you should be fine if you do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Father. Thank you,
Yeah.
Pearl.
No problem.
This probably
Anna,
this
what do you
question will
think?
be
Hmm.
hello. Yes,
Yeah.
this probably would be irrelevant. Yeah, I'm sorry, but then it's the same for Google Meet too. I had the same problem for Google Meet when I stopped using Zoom and I tried using Google Meet. And I had the same problem when it came to even Google Meet.
Then Anna, I think you should get someone to just check your laptop settings. There must be some default laptop setting.
In fact, just last week I got my laptop done up.
Then
Thinking that, and
but just check in.
Anna, with Google Meets, no, it's a little bit more difficult. That's why I prefer using Zoom myself, because
Father,
I
it's
was
only
facing
40 minutes, no, Father. That is the only
Yeah,
problem.
that's
Is
the
that.
problem. But the problem with Google Meets is even I was facing the same problem, that you can share a video, but it doesn't share the audio. And I checked all the right boxes. I did up all my settings and all, but for some reason it was not sharing. Now it works on some people's computers. Some of my Sunday school teachers are able to use it without a problem, while some of the other teachers are facing a problem with Google Meet. So we have actually still not figured out why it works for certain people and why it doesn't work. So we have been trying out. Therefore, I use Zoom because Zoom is much more simpler. You check the box and it works. So Zoom is never a problem. So therefore, I use
Father,
that. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Father, if I can just add
Thank
over here. Sienna, thanks so much. Sienna just messaged in and said, I actually have the screenshot over here, and you can see down it says share computer audio. That's on my computer, on my laptop. There's just right down over there is share computer sound, and you just have to tick mark that, and then you will be able to, as Father Josh said.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Cora, you don't have a laptop, but you have a desktop. That is absolutely fine. Yes, either a desktop or a laptop can be used for all of this. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've done sharing of screen right now, and the next one that we're going to be looking at is breakout rooms. Okay. Now, breakout rooms is a functionality to use. You have to be on your desktop or a laptop. If you are on a phone, you can join a breakout room as a participant, the way all of us were able to join breakout rooms at the last session. But if you are the host and if you are putting people into breakout rooms, then you need to be on a desktop or a laptop in order to do it. Okay, so what does that interface look like? Okay, and it's really simple. So again, this is what my screen looks like. I'm going to go down. And down over here, there is a breakout room option. It basically has four small squares. That's the icon for the breakout room. Okay, so I click on that breakout room, and what happens is I get a pop-up over here. Okay, and the pop-up will say breakout rooms, assign how many participants to how many rooms. Now, the screenshot says 0 participants because when I was doing the screenshot, there was nobody with me at this meeting. Okay, but if I have to do it right now, okay, it will say assign whatever 47 participants to how many ever breakout rooms I want. So if I say 40 participants in 5 rooms, then there will be 8 individuals sent to each breakout room. Okay. There are 2 ways of actually doing it. I can do it automatically or I can do it manually. What is automatically? Automatically is Zoom on its own will just assign randomly 8 people to each of the different 5 rooms. Okay. Manually is when I actually want to say, for example, that people from community 1 should be in 1 room, or people, my students from class A need to be in 1 room. Then I can manually assign it. So, for example, okay. So, for example, over here, if I put it in over here and I say, assume over here that it is, 1 second, okay. Assume over here that I have said, I have done this automatically. And then I have breakout room 1 and I have whichever person is joined there. I have breakout room 2 and then I have whichever person has joined in over here. Okay. If I want to get into these breakout rooms, if I hover over breakout room 1, I will be able to see the join option. Okay. And that's when I join the breakout room. So once you actually say, let me go back and make sure it's going. Okay. I'm going to assign how many ever participants to how many ever rooms. I normally take the automatic functionality because especially if it's a large group, then I say it's fine that they get assigned at random. Okay. However, if you want to manually assign them also, then that is also an option. Now, in my slide right now, you're going to see 2 screenshots as earlier, but let's look at this first screenshot itself over here. Okay. Assume that I have now put it randomly. I will have individuals in the different breakout rooms. Over here also, actually, I haven't put in the screenshot, but if I hover my name around Priya or Galaxy tab A, it will actually ask me, do you want to move this person to another breakout room? And I can just click on that and move the person to whichever breakout room I want. Once I'm fine with all of these breakout rooms, all I have to say is open all rooms. Okay. When I open all rooms, when I click that button, open all rooms, is when all of you get that invite. You remember like last time, everyone got an invite saying, join this breakout room. That has happened because I opened all breakout rooms. So when I open all breakout rooms, participants will get an invite. Participants click on it and they go into their own rooms. Once that happens, you will still be able to just see this. So for you, this is the screen. You can constantly see people joining in. And then this is, you would have realized that I got into different breakout rooms at different points of time to just check and see whether things are going well. How did I do that? I did that just by clicking on this join button over here, which is next to each breakout room. So you click on that join button and you will find yourself automatically as like magic transported into that room. Okay, and then you can start talking to those individuals. You don't have to worry how that's done. Zoom has done that for you, but you will magically appear to all of them over there. Okay, now when you want to leave that breakout room, so if everyone's in the room, you will see people's photographs over here. Right now, this screenshot does not have people's photographs, but I am in a breakout room right now. On your right hand side, right down, there is an option over there that says leave breakout room. So when you click on that leave breakout room, you will come back into the main room, and then again you can choose and see if you want to get into any other breakout room. Again, you join breakout room 2 or 3, whichever breakout room you want to leave or you want to join in. Talk to them and then magically disappear by just saying leave breakout room. Okay, it's as simple as that. Just very simple. Yeah. But I definitely recommend that before you do your own class or before you have a meeting, a proper formal meeting, try this out with 3-4 individuals. Yeah, so just get 3-4 of you all together, put them in breakout rooms, and then get them all back. Okay. And in order to get them all back on your screen, you will see one bit over there that says end breakout rooms. See over here, close all breakout rooms. Sorry. So you come back to this thing, it says close breakout rooms, and everyone is just taken out from their breakout rooms and brought back into the main room. Exactly like how it happened last time. Yeah. So like about 60 seconds or, the default is 60 seconds. Once you say close rooms, everyone gets an intimation saying 60 seconds to close, and then automatically everyone comes back. So that's with the breakout rooms. Okay. Any queries on the breakout rooms?
Yes, Pearl, there are a couple of questions. I'll just outline them for you. You know, Debbie had 1 or 2 questions on. She was asking whether is it possible to assign participants to breakout rooms before the meeting actually begins? Is it possible to do that?
Yes, and Debbie, this was my new learning. Thanks to this session and Father Joshan. So the next slide that I'm going to show you all is actually a slide that Father Joshan, screenshot that Father Joshan sent me. And when I saw that screenshot, I said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that there is an option where you can assign people to breakout rooms in advance. And what it seems to require is the email IDs of the participants. I have to still try that out, but I'm definitely going to try that out now since it's a new discovery. So yes, it is possible. At the time of setting up the meeting itself, you can actually assign people to it, to the different breakout rooms.
And can a room like a group leader be assigned? Is there a possibility like how we have in our physical settings? You know, you appoint one person as the group leader to report back or something.
Yes.
Is it possible to appoint someone as a room leader in advance?
Actually, that's a very good point, Father. Whenever we use the breakout rooms, so when we're giving the instructions, we always give the instructions before people get into the breakout rooms. And normally, we would tell individuals to kind of make sure that one person is going to summarize and kind of come back. We let them know that choose one person to summarize, or if you want to appoint someone, you do that before the breakout room starts. And normally what I do is I also get into the breakout rooms and remind them once again that one person needs to come back and summarize. So it's something right now that is done verbally. And if your aim is to basically ensure that someone is taking care of time and ensuring that you are reporting back, etc., then do that assigning before you open the breakout rooms.
Okay, and is there any limit to the number of participants that can be assigned to each breakout room, or you can assign as many as you want in the manual option?
Yeah, you can assign as many as you want. If I'm not mistaken, you can go up to 50 breakout rooms, 50.
Okay, yeah. And finally, and one more question was that, you know, where do you find the breakout room icon on the main screen? Someone was asking that question as well. And you remember my conversation to you is sometime when we were planning for this meeting that on some people's initial screens, you don't have that option of breakout rooms down below. And you have to go to the settings and, you know, activate that icon. So can you say something about that?
Yes, sure. So where is the breakout room icon? When you open your desktop, your breakout room icon will be down where you see it right now on your screen. Okay, so it's usually next to the record button. I have the polling option right now because this is a paid account that I'm using. But just right down is where you will have the breakout rooms. Now, right now, you all may not be able to see the breakout room option on your screens at all, because this is usually an option that the host only will be able to see. Okay, and to Father's point, where sometimes, you know, even though you are the host, you don't see this breakout room option. Why is that so? And that's because you need to just check your settings. Okay? And we've got a screenshot for that. Okay. So the screenshot is in the settings section, and I will take you to the settings section also. I'll show you where the settings section is. There is, in the settings section, if you scroll down, there is something that's called in meeting advanced. And sometimes by default, if you look at the second option that says breakout rooms, it is not set to blue. So it's actually it's not activated sometimes. So you need to ensure that it's activated. And then when it's activated, and this is where, Debbie, you can see allow hosts to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. So you just click on that. And then when you create a meeting, the next time there's an option already over there saying, do you want to already set individual participants to the breakout? Okay, and then you just save this option. So just make sure that your breakout room is set to active. And I'll show you how to get to this page also.
Yeah.
Okay, this is once you create your account. In the meetings, in the settings section.
Yeah, so I think that answers these questions for now. Yeah.
Yeah, no? Okay.
About the breakout room. Yeah, maybe we can move ahead then.
Cool, ठीक है. So what we've done right now is we've done screen sharing and we've done breakout rooms. Okay, these are the two aspects that we've looked at. But you can't do these two aspects until you create your own meeting. Okay, so now is the important part of how do you host your own meeting and how do you create your own meeting. So this becomes really important. Now, in order to do this, the first thing that you need to do on the Zoom platform is have your own account. Okay, you need to create your own Zoom account. So far, if you have only been attending Zoom meetings, and if you haven't, because you don't need a Zoom account to attend a meeting, you can just click on the link and you can kind of get into a meeting. But to host an account or to host a meeting, you need to create your Zoom account. How do you do this? Okay, now if you are using your phone, okay, and say after this session gets over, you go to your Zoom app. Okay, in your Zoom app, you will see actually right down, there are three options. You either join a meeting, you sign up, or you sign in. Okay, so if you've not created a Zoom account, what you need to do is you need to sign up first. I should have actually marked that over here. So what's on the left hand side, you click on sign up. Okay, this is creating your Zoom account. When you click on sign up, it will actually, the first thing that it will ask you is for verification, please confirm your date of birth. So just put in your date of birth over there. It is not really data that is stored, but they do ask for your date of birth. Once you put in your date of birth, it's very simple. You come to the sign up form, you use your email ID and put in your first name, your last name, and then you basically sign up. They'll also ask you to put in your own password for Zoom. Okay, and that's it. You've got your Zoom account set up. It's pretty simple. It's like creating an email ID. As simple as that. Only thing is you will need your email ID, your first name, last name, and create a password. You can do this either from your phone or you can go online to zoom.us and create it. Okay. So this is in terms of setting up your own Zoom account. Once you set up that Zoom account, now you can create your own meeting. Okay, so now when you click on your Zoom icon again, what it will say is now you go to sign in, because now you already have your account and you have your password. Okay, so now you will go to sign in. And when you go to sign in, again, it will just ask you for the email ID with which you registered and the password that you've set. So you put in those details. Okay? And when you put in those details, what's that homework? Let me show it to you. Okay. Once you put in those details is when you'll be able to start seeing the actually this up for you. I'll also do a live demo in a bit. 1 second. Okay. When you sign in on your phone, this is what it will look like. Okay. So once you put in your email ID and your password, the interface on the phone is this is it. This is what it will look like on your phone. All you have to go to is schedule. Okay, you'll go to schedule. Once you go to schedule, these are all the different options. Okay. So I've put in over there the name, which is parish meeting test, the date when you want to have it, the timing that you want to have it, the time zone over here is already set at the India time zone. Meeting password, the password will get generated automatically. And that's it. Right at the bottom, right on top, you say done. Okay, this is on your phone. This is a phone interface. Okay, once you say done on the phone, okay, you'll actually get a summary over here, which will say when is this scheduled for, what is the topic of this meeting, what is the meeting ID, what is the duration, and what is the password. Okay, now this is the important part where you have to send this information to others because you're inviting people, right? So you have to send this link to others. Okay, if you are using your phone, so all of this is the phone interface, you will actually click on add invitees. Okay, you click on add invitees. After you click on add invitees, these are the options that you will get. You get it, you say, do you want to send it through Gmail, email, you can SMS it. If you want to SMS it to people, you click on SMS, or you can just say copy to clipboard. Once you say copy to clipboard, then all the meeting details get copied. And then if you want, you can go to WhatsApp or however you would be sharing it and just go to WhatsApp, right click and paste it into your WhatsApp screen, and then all of the details with the link, the password, etc. All of that will come in on the screen, and then you can just send it out to people. Okay. This is if you are using the the phone. Okay. So on the phone, all you need to go to schedule. You click on schedule. When you click on schedule, it will ask you for what's the name of the meeting, how long you want it for, etc. Then you say invite attendees. When you click on invite attendees, this is the option that you will get. So how do you want to add these invitees? I've just said copy to clipboard. That means all the meeting details have gotten copied. And now I can paste it on WhatsApp or I can paste it in SMS or however I want to send it. Okay. I'd also like to show you the interface if you're using it from your laptop, which is also pretty simple. Father, should I show the laptop interface now, or are there some questions that need to be answered right now?
Debbie was just asking if there is a way to add an RSVP to the invitation so that you know how many people would be interested in joining the meeting. Is there something like that available? Some feedback option available where people can let you know that they would be attending? Not that I know of personally, at least, but I was wondering if
the RSVP is, I think, if you are creating it in the form of a webinar, but that is a paid option.
That's a paid option.
Yeah, that means only when the person. It's still not an RSVP, but it is only if the person registers, then the person gets emailed. You know, the details.
The details.
So the person doesn't register, the person does not get the meeting details, and I think it is on the webinar option. That's my sense right now. Yeah,
but that's a paid option. That's a paid service.
The webinar is a paid.
The paid is a paid. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, cool. Let me show you how we actually create the create it when you are on. Okay. You should be able to see my screen right now. Yeah. This is, by the way, www.zoom.us. Okay, this is the Zoom website. So if you are on your desktop or your laptop, etc., you will be going to www.zoom.us. Okay. I will go. This is where you can also create your account if you want, but I'm going to my account right now. I have already signed in, and so you can see on the left hand side all the different details. So there's profile, meetings, webinars, recordings, settings, etc. And all of my details are given over here. Now I'll go to meetings. Okay, so I click on meetings over here, and now see currently we are on the examiner meeting is on, and because it is on, there's a green button at the side. So this is currently on my system. So we're all on this meeting. Okay. Just hold on 1 second. I'm just going to shut the door because my dad's on another call. So 1 second, I'm just going to shut the door and come back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, he was on another call and I could hear him, and then I was wondering whether you all could hear him also. So this is better. Okay. When you come over here, same language almost. So if you were on your phone also, you would have gone to the option that says schedule meeting. Similarly, over here, you can see schedule meeting on top. You click on schedule meeting. Okay. And then topic. So what is the topic? So say my topic is, I don't know, say confirmation class. Okay. And say confirmation class test. Okay. This is if I want to put in a description. I don't really want to put in a description right now. I choose when I want it to be. So I've chosen tomorrow. I've said 5 p.m. I want it for an hour. I want it for 2 hours, depending. Of course, if it's a free version, then it will, after 40 minutes, it will anyways, the call will cut and you all will need to reconnect again. Okay. Time zone is already set to India. Debbie, maybe you can do that because there's something over here that says registration. I haven't used. See, you keep learning everything new. Okay, but maybe possible with the required with the registration that's required. That could be a possibility. Yeah. Okay. The passcode is already put in over here. If you want, you can change the passcode also. You can also change it to something like any word also if you want. Okay. Otherwise, it automatically gets generated. You're used to having those numbers, but you can also change the passcode. But that's me if you want. These are all the different options. Do you want the video on or off? These are default, okay? That means the person will still be able to switch off or switch on their video. It's just the default when the person comes in, okay? Meeting options, and then what you say over here is save, okay? Once I save it, I get all of this, okay, which says the topic, the time, the meeting, etc. And then you will see something at the side that says copy invitation. So very similar to what you did in your, very similar to what you did on your phone interface. Same thing you're doing. You're going to copy the invitation. All of these details come in over here. You copy the meeting invitation, and then you go to either your WhatsApp or wherever you would like to go to. And let's just say, for example, I'm going to go to my email. I'll go to my email over here and I paste everything over here. Now you will realize that there's a lot of information that has gotten pasted. Okay, you actually don't need all of this. It's giving you your topic, it's giving you your time. It says join the Zoom meeting. This is the link usually that people give you when you have to join a meeting. So this link is important. You've got the meeting ID and you've got the meeting passcode. This is all the information that's important. All of this, one tap mobile, if you're in the US, dial by your location, if you're in Chicago, Houston, all of that can actually just be deleted. Because this is if someone wants to call in and they are actually in the States and they want to use these numbers to dial in from their phone. Not applicable for all of us in India. So you can actually just delete everything and just keep the Zoom link, the meeting ID and the passcode. That's it. And then send that out to people. This is how you set up your meeting. Yeah. Is that making sense?
Yeah. And just to add to what Pearl said is in the free version, your meeting ends in 40 minutes, as you know, no, for the free version. So you don't need to create a new link after 40 minutes. You can just click the same link and you can come back. Okay. So you can just basically use the same link and rejoin the meeting. This is something that even I learned at the beginning of. This may sound this may sound quite embarrassing now, but when I started off my confirmation class, I thought that I had to generate a new link every 40 minutes, right?
No, you can.
Yeah, so I initially thought that, so I prepared one link for my students for 5 and then for 540 and then for...
No, you can, you can use, in fact, you can even use the same link even the next Sunday also.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, then one of the school teachers who was using Zoom in school, she told me, Father, you just need to click the same link and you can get back. You don't need to create separate links. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So this was with setting up a meeting. Do we have any questions right now on setting up the meeting?
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is this features similar to Google? Because PPC meeting in our church is held on Google, not on Zoom.
Yeah, so I think on Google Meet, it's just as simple as clicking on the link and getting a link. I think, in fact, Zoom has a few more steps in creating a meeting. That's my sense.
Okay, thank you.
I think
for Google Meets, I think what has to be done is Marcelino, right?
Yeah.
You need to go to your, do you have a Gmail account? You go to your Gmail account.
Yeah.
Then you go to your Google Calendars. Okay, you have your Google Calendar, right? On your Gmail. You have those 9 dots at the top right hand corner. You go to your Google. Yeah, so she's showing you that on screen. So you go to Google Calendar. You click on that. Okay. And for which day you want to set up a meeting, like for example, maybe, let's see, tomorrow, 16th.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you scroll down, you see the time on the left hand side, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Suppose it's Pearl for 5 p.m. You click, you have a meeting on Sunday at 5 p.m. over there. So you click there, you click at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah, Pearl, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can add the title of your meeting up there. You can add the date, you can change the date, the timing and all of those things. Okay, so basically for Google Meets, you need to go to your Google Calendar and you set up your Google meeting. So you have an option in the blue tab there called, which says add a Google Meet video conferencing. Can you see that over there?
Yeah.
So you have to add that to your meeting. So join. So right next to that you will have an option of a copy. On that side you have that copy icon. So you copy that icon. That copy is the same invitation link as you do it in Zoom, and then you can share it wherever you want, whether it's on WhatsApp or on email and so on. Okay, so just remember that on Google Meets, for a Google Meet, you need to go to your Google calendars and you set up a meeting. That's
Thank you, Father.
simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, Google Meet, it's just one link over here that I've copied. What we were doing is we were talking about setting up the meeting.
Yeah, setting up meetings on Google Meet or on Zoom Meet. No, we showed them both of that.
And we finished both Google Meet and Zoom.
Zoom Meet, yeah.
So let me just go back to my desktop and show you what we were looking at. Okay. So we were on. So in fact, so that was the interface when you are on your Zoom account. And all I wanted to show you is when you go to, Father, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When we spoke about the breakout rooms and we said you've got to enable the breakout rooms, that's basically you just have to go over here to settings. Okay. And when you go to settings, in settings, you just keep scrolling down to the advanced settings, and then if I'm not mistaken, you go to account management. Sorry, you don't have to get into all of that. You just go to settings, and in settings, you come into the main screen, and then you'll go right down over here, and that's where you actually enable. Sorry, my keyboard is a little nervous right now.
Yeah, you have to keep scrolling down. Yeah, it's towards the end actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just go and you end up going into, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Can you see it?
No, I think we passed it. I think. There it is. Breakout rooms. Yeah.
Okay, so you will just have to go into settings, go into this, just keep on scrolling down to the settings section, and then you can open your breakout room bit. So that is it, setting up your meeting and your breakout rooms. The next bit that we will actually look at is now the whole bit of, let me actually share my presentation so we know where we are. Okay, you able to see the presentation?
Yes.
So we've done screen sharing, we've done breakout rooms, we did creating your own meeting. Now, instead of the online poll, okay, we'll actually look at something that's called Mentimeter, and then we'll also look at Jamboard. Okay. Now, what is Mentimeter? Now, for Mentimeter, okay, so now everyone has to pay attention to me, okay, because this one is like a polling option. Okay, but this is available free. Okay, for Mentimeter, you will be telling your students or individuals who are taking part that they need to go to www.menti.com. Now, if your participants are on the laptop, then they can actually take their phone, just go to www.menti.com and actually put in this passcode over there. So if you are on a laptop and if you have your phone next to you, just grab your phone, take your phone, go to menti.com and put in this passcode that you see. Okay. If you are not on your laptop, if you are actually on your phone right now, then what we are going to do is we are actually going to send you something on the chat box. Okay. So in the chat, 1 second, just hold on. Let me just get the chat started. So just look out in your chat box, and I'm sending this to everybody. I'm sending you all a link. Okay, have you all received that link?
Yes.
Okay, in the chat box, yeah. Click on that link. Yeah, what's the passcode? 1 second. The passcode is 9123053. Okay. You should also, if you are on your laptop, then just look at the screen and you'll be able to see it on your screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is 9123.053. Okay, 9123.053. Okay, and you have a question over there. Just answer that question. Okay, fantastic. People have started answering. So if you're using your phone, go to www.menti.com, put in the password that you see on your screen right now, which is 9123.053. If you are not, if you don't have your phone free and you are actually on Zoom on your phone itself, go to the chat box and click on the link. When you click on the link, okay, answer the question. After you answer the question, come back to your Zoom application. Okay, so if you've clicked on the link, answer the link and come back to the Zoom application. When you come back to the Zoom application, you'll be able to see my screen. Okay. So everyone who's clicked on the link, just make sure you come back to the Zoom application. Is that okay? Can people see what's on my screen right now?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Where is the chat box, Paul?
If you click anywhere on your screen, you should be able to see chat down. Can you see chat down on your screen?
Can't see Pearl.
You all can't
If you're
see
doing it
chat.
from a mobile, you'll get.
If you are on, or otherwise, there will be those 3 dots at the side. Click on that and you'll see a chat. You'll see the chat box. Can you see that?
I'm on laptop. I can't.
On your laptop. Oh, if you're on the laptop, and if you come to Zoom, you should be able to see chat down. Can you see chat down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There I
click on, so click on that chat, click on the link, answer this question, and come back to the Zoom screen. Okay. So far, let's see how many. We got 32 have responded. Not bad at all. Okay, 32 have responded. So the question was, today is most appropriate to wish each other happy feast, happy Independence Day, happy Republic Day, or happy Easter. Okay. And the correct answer, which everyone has said, yes. So both happy feast and happy Independence Day. Okay. So you could, so this is like a multiple quiz kind of option. So fantastic. We've got more people who have answered, 36, 38. Very nice. Good stuff. Okay. So what happens is you're answering, and then if you look at the Zoom screen, you can see in real time what other people are also saying. Okay. Now I'm going to give you another question. Okay. So now again, look at, pay attention to your screen. Okay. On your Mentimeter screen. Okay. So the next question is, how do you feel attending this workshop? And you can type in your name, or you can type in whatever you feel like. So how do you feel attending this workshop? Okay, so you can go to that link on Mentimeter again. Fantastic, very nice. Someone has typed in exciting. Brilliant. We've got some more who have come in. Very nice. Fantastic. Excellent. Brilliant.
Have you to do it on chat, Pearl?
Sorry?
On chat, where is the answer to be?
So where are you right now, Cora? What can you see on your screen?
How do you feel answering attending this workshop? I'm seeing.
And you can see all the words coming up.
Assorted adjectives.
Very nice. Now, Cora, if you see your chat screen, if you go on chat, there's a link over there. If you click on that link, you will also be able to participate and put your answers.
Where's the chat? But I can't find the chat.
Chat box is at the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
Is at the bottom of your screen, the chat box. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So go to your chat box and you'll find the link over there.
Okay.
So just click on that link and then put in your answer. Very nice. Good stuff.
It's a very interesting way in which all the results come in, right?
Yeah. Very interesting. Good stuff. So 26 have answered over here. So there are 2 ways for the participants to do this. One is you give them the link that I've given you and you click on that link and you put in your answers. And then you can actually see the answers coming in on the screen that I have shared. And the other option is if participants are actually on their laptops, then they can just take their phone, go to menti.com, put in that code and give in their answer and look at their screen. So that's the other option. Fantastic. Huh? We've got 33 of you all who have responded. That's really cool. So how do you feel attending this workshop? Check out the words that we've got. We've got enlightened, we've got great, enjoying, very informative, interesting, excellent, enriching, awesome, productive, as well as confusing. Yes, I can imagine. Yeah. And therefore, we're going to be giving you slides.
Someone has mentioned braver. They're feeling braver also.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Good stuff. Practical fun. Very nice. Good stuff. Yeah.
Pearl,
Yes.
we did last time and we couldn't see the poll. How
Yes,
do you
yes.
connect this to the Mentimeter?
Is this very familiar? This voice is sounding. Is this Ruth?
Yeah, it is. I'm here. I told you I want you, I'll be here. Yeah.
Good stuff. So Ruth, in fact, this is rather than instead of not having the poll.
I
when
know,
you
but
don't do
I
the poll-
want to know how, because when you do the Mentimeter, it says the presenter has not changed the slide. So obviously it's connected to the Zoom account.
Oh, no. When they are saying presenter has not changed the slide, what they mean is this Mentimeter slide.
So are you also on the Mentimeter's website, or are you on the Zoom website?
No. So that now Ruth, you're step by step. Right now we are only looking at.
Okay, you're coming. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right, Ruth. We have to go. I am right now on the Mentimeter site because of which everyone can see this. I'll show it to you all in a bit. Okay. So right now, what you see over here, okay, is everyone has kind of answered. And now I am actually going to exit this, okay, which means we've finished using Mentimeter. But we've got a good sense of what everyone actually said. How do you feel attending this workshop, etc. Okay. And let me actually come
One
back.
minute, can I interrupt? How did you
Yes,
create that graph where wishing was concerned, like Happy Feast and Independence, Happy
yes.
Independence? That graph sort of. How did you create
Yes.
that?
Oh, that is what Mentimeter gives to you. I mean, I chose a bar graph. There are different options, so I said I
Okay,
wanted to
fine.
choose bar graph, and then the outcome comes in the form of bar graphs. And the
Okay,
second question, I chose word cloud, and therefore it
Okay.
all started coming in the form of a word cloud.
Okay, fine.
So
Thank
those
you.
are the two options that I use. Yeah. So and I'll show that to you also. So Mentimeter, okay, is similar to the poll that we used on Zoom last time. The good thing with the poll on Zoom is that you don't have to leave the Zoom platform. People will answer it on the Zoom platform itself and you get the results. However, the poll option on Zoom is a paid feature. Okay. So we're not able to use the poll option on Zoom since it's paid. But if you still want like an interactive kind of a bit, then you can go to Mentimeter and set up the questions on Mentimeter. So this is what Ruth was talking about. You have to go to mentimeter.com, set up the questions over there, okay? And Mentimeter allows you to actually set up to about 3 questions for free. Okay? So you can do 3 questions per presentation. That's what they call it. Yeah, Mentimeter also calls it a presentation. But the good thing with Mentimeter is it's very exciting and interesting because you can see it, getting populated in this different way, and as you're responding, you can see it on screen. So whenever we use Mentimeter, in fact, we recommend that the students are on their laptops and then they have their phones to kind of answer. So if that's something that can be done, then it can be very useful. Or basically, if they have 2 devices. Yeah, is that making sense? Can I
Right.
show you how to set up Mentimeter?
Pearl, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Hello. No, this Mentimeter, when you went on the website of the Mentimeter, it asked for the passcode, and which the passcode which you gave it to us.
Yes.
And how did you create that passcode?
Yes. So let me show you.
I missed out on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sure. No problem. You didn't miss out at all, Wilfred. I have not yet shown it to you all.
Okay.
So let me show it to you. Okay. So what you would need to do, Mentimeter is in fact a different application. And someone just asked over here, can we use Mentimeter on Google Meet? Yes, absolutely. You can use Mentimeter on any platform. Okay. You can use it on Google Meet. You can use it on whatever you want to use it on, whichever platform. So let me show you how to create Mentimeter. Okay. What you will actually do is you will actually first go to mentimeter.com. Okay. And you will have to create your account. I have actually already signed into my account over here. So this is my account over here. That's my email ID. I create my account. So actually, let me just show it to you 1 second. So you'll go to www.mentimeter.com. Okay. This is what mentimeter.com looks like. Okay. And it will actually, so it basically makes remote work easy, and it will ask you to create interactive presentations and meetings wherever you are. Sign up, you will click on sign up, and then you will put in your email ID, choose a password, etc., and then you sign up. Okay, just as simple as that. Once you sign up, okay, you will then get into your presentation. So now I've signed into my Mentimeter account. Okay. When I sign into my Mentimeter account, these are all the different Mentimeters I have created in the past. Okay. So for example, this is the one that we just did for the examiner. Okay. And this is the one that we created. Now, say you are having your meeting, you will just go over here to new presentation. Can you all see this? Yeah. New presentation. So you click on new presentation and it says, what's the name? So let's just call this again examiner test, okay? Or let's call this examiner demo, whatever. Okay, and I'm going to create the presentation. Okay, so let's just get created. Okay, now just simple over here. These are all the different options you have. So do you want to do a multiple choice? Okay, or do you want to actually do so multiple choice, do you want it to be like a donut option, whatever type of option you want. So you have multiple choice. You can have it in terms of a word cloud. That was the second question that we did. Open-ended, where you actually say, you know, what did you like best about the session? And everyone just types in their own answers, and those answers will keep coming on the screen. Okay. Or you can have, you know, different scales. So on a scale of low to high, how would you rate these following items? So there are different, different types that you can use. So let's just try the multiple quiz, because this is what we had done last time also. And my options over here, say for example, are, and I want it in bars. So say, you know, who is, okay. Come on. Which parish is Father Joshan originally from?
Good question.
Okay.
Good question.
So, say that is my question. And I'm going to put different options. And say different options are, I don't know, St. Thomas somewhere, Our Lady of Lourdes, Malar.
St. Francis Xavier.
I see.
At present.
Yeah,
St. Francis Xavier.
Presently.
St. Francis
Originally from
Xavier. Okay, so you can put it, so you can make and create your own questions, put in your own options. Okay, and then all you do over here is you then say save. So which, yeah, so that's it, it gets saved. And if you want to add one more slide, you'll come in over here and you will add one more, and then you can create another question. Choose whatever you want, okay? Once this is done and once you have created it, now you want to kind of share this with others and get the code. So you'll go on top to share. And that's it, you got the link over here. This is the link that I copied and I gave you all, okay? So I copied the link, sent it to all of you all. Simultaneously, I just presented this. When I present this, everyone can see the code over there. It says go to www.menti.com, put in this code over there. And this is live. That's it. So when people answer, people will be able to be able to see this particular slide.
Okay. So we are not actually doing this right now. Just a demo.
It is open. Everyone does it. It is
What's
live
the
right
answer?
now.
I actually went to do it.
What's the answer?
Well, is it linked to our main screen, or it is an independent app that we work on?
Yeah, you're right, Cyril. It's an independent platform. It's independent.
Okay.
So so basically all that you are doing actually, Cyril, if you are using Mentimeter, is you are actually you're using two functionalities. You are using share screen from Zoom, okay, so that everyone can see the screen, and you're actually going to mentimeter.com. So the poll is coming from mentimeter.com, and you're sharing your screen on Zoom.
Can we share this result on the main screen also, or no?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing my screen. That's why everyone can see the result.
See, I think the basic idea is that any application outside Zoom, you can use anything outside Zoom. You can go to any, like Mentimeter, there will be other softwares, other programs, a YouTube video, you want to share a YouTube video, anything under the sun, whatever you want to share. Anything outside Zoom, you basically in Zoom, you share your screen, and you can share your screen and your results, whether it's a Mentimeter, this one, anything can be shared. So that's kind of like the basic.
Like any other screen sharing.
Yes, just like any other screen sharing. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Yes, correct.
So how do we participate in this graph here?
It comes automatically.
Yeah, so you know what, you can see that code which is up there on your screen there on top.
Okay,
So, yeah,
yes.
so you go to, like Pearl said, you just go to www.menti.com and it will ask you for the code. So you ask your respondents to enter that code number that goes to that quiz. You can take part in the quiz by entering that code number, and the bar diagram is generated automatically by mentimeter.com automatically.
Fine. Thank you.
Paul, this poll thing, how expensive is it? Just a sense of.
This is free.
No, not this one. Not Mentimeter.
The paid up one.
Paid.
The paid. Okay, the paid version is so in Zoom you have to pay in dollars. So basically you have to put your credit card details, and then the costing is done in dollars. It's $14 a month.
Okay.
It's not it's not too expensive in the sense it's just about 1,000 and something if you look at $14.
I think Pearl, can we move on? Yeah. It's it's almost 5:30. So if there's some other aspects that you need to carry, do you have any other aspects to cover?
But Father, before we leave, do you want to tell us the correct answer? Is like majority correct over here?
Yes.
St. Francis.
It's no. St. Francis Xavier is where I'm currently based as a priest, but my home parish is Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Orlem. And that is also Pearl's parish. That is also where Pearl comes from. In fact,
that's why I thought of that question on this spur of the moment.
In fact, we are contemporaries. We grew up together. So, though she looks much younger to me, but we are basically the same age. Okay, let me just say that.
I can't believe that.
Yes, we are the same age basically, even though we don't look like.
I don't know for the looking number, but cool.
Paul, can you talk about Jamboard a little?
Yes. Yeah, the only bit left is Jamboard, and really sorry we've extended the time right now, but I'll quickly take you all to Jamboard also. Okay, Jamboard is again something that you would use. It's a Gmail. It's a Gmail product. Okay, so let me in fact just take you to 1 second. I'm just opening my Gmail account. I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay, so I've opened my Gmail. You should be able to see my Gmail and all my emails. And you come over here, okay, to these little dots over here, okay, in your Gmail account, and you go right down and you'll be able to see Jamboard. Okay, and you click on Jamboard. You can even go to Jamboard, if I'm not mistaken, you just type Jamboard. You don't have to go through your this thing. You just type Jamboard also in your search, and you will come to the Jamboard over here. Okay, so it's just called Google Jamboard. Okay, now these are all the different Jamboards that I have. All you have to do over here is you create a new Jamboard. Sorry, change the order. Where's the? Let's see, this thing. Okay, so this is, for example, the Jamboard that we had done the last time. Okay.
Well, I think if you're trying
So
to
you just
create
click on
one,
it.
you click that plus sign, which was at the bottom of the
Yeah, but
screen.
I couldn't see the plus sign.
I can see the plus sign there at the bottom of your
Oh,
screen.
yeah. Yes, thank you, Father. That's because my
Yeah.
Zoom is covering it right now and I got a little lost.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there is that plus sign. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So there's this plus sign. You click on this plus sign over here. Okay. And that's it. Your new Jamboard gets created. It's basically a white screen. Okay. Which uses a lot of post-its. So I click over here and there are sticky notes over here. So good questions. I save this sticky note. I can change the color of this sticky note. So basically, like last time, how people discuss different things, they brought out different points. I put all the points on these sticky notes, and then you can move these sticky notes around. You can also put in a photograph if you want. You do so you look at a snap from Google if you want the Eiffel Tower, etc. It's just a way in which you can kind of make this interesting and more visual. So, while you all are discussing things, if you want to add something and then someone says, gives another idea. So I can say, I just click over here and I say, hey, great idea. It's just a way to kind of capture what people are saying, and you can do different things with this. So last time what we did is we used Jamboard to actually get all the responses that were coming in from the group discussions. And then we actually took all the responses together and put it all on the screen. Then what I did, of course, last time was segregate the responses then and put all the similar responses together, which you will see right now. Yeah. And then you, of course, you have these different options over here where you can, you can draw things, etc. So this is just one more tool that you can look at. So this is Jamboard. Again, Jamboard is free. It's colorful with all of these sticky notes, etc. So especially when you're having group discussions and you want to capture the points that people are coming up with, this could be one way in which you can capture it. Yeah, is that making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So so with that, what we really did today was looking at the how of a couple of things. We looked at screen sharing. We looked at breakout rooms. Instead of the online poll, we looked at Mentimeter. You got an experience of Mentimeter. Okay, it is a different platform, but it is very simple once you start checking that out. Use Mentimeter, especially if you feel you want to kind of interact with kids, get responses from individuals, etc. And Jamboard is again that whiteboard platform that we used last time, which is again a free tool. Yeah. So yes, and of course we looked at how do you create your own meeting and create your own link. Yeah, with that, Father, I think we've covered what all we wanted to kind of close.
Yes.
If there are any queries, questions, we can
Okay,
kind of
so since it's already like it's 5:30 exactly, so we have gone a little above our time, but that's fine, that's okay. But we will not have time for too many questions. So if there are one or two very important questions or significant questions that people want to, because I think a lot of the questions have already been covered when Pearl was doing the different sections, no? So many of your doubts have been cleared. But does anyone have, maybe we can take one or two questions if anyone has a particular question for Pearl. You can unmute yourself and you can ask Pearl if you have a particular question.
Yeah. And Charles is right, the Jamboard can be called a digital version of a blackboard. Yes, very true. Digital and colorful version of a blackboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Jasmine, I think you wanted to ask.
Yes, Father. Hi, Paul. Good evening, Father. Hi, Paul. Paul, as you were, see, when I use my Zoom platform on the laptop, I don't have any issues. But whenever I do it on the mobile, and as you were taking us through it, I on my mobile was going through those options. and checking. So I went and set up an Zoom meeting and all that. And when I say add invitees via, I don't have the option of WhatsApp. So is it that I don't get the option of WhatsApp on the mobile?
No, there is no option of WhatsApp, Jasmine, on the mobile. Basically, the option is, I think, copy to clipboard or
copy to clipboard is there. Gmail is there. So I have used the Gmail option, but I don't have it directly to send it on WhatsApp from here.
So if you want it on WhatsApp, you have to say copy to clipboard, then go on to WhatsApp, paste it on WhatsApp, delete whatever you don't want, and then send it out.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted because I was not able to find it here. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Father.
Pearl, may I ask a question? What do you call these types of applications, like Mentimeter and Jamboard? If I'm searching for different creative ways, what do I search?
I think they're
would be polling apps, maybe.
Sorry?
Online polling apps.
Okay.
Online polling apps, online meeting engagement apps. Create online creative. If you just go to one of them and you can just see what their interactive meeting, online interactive meeting applications.
Okay, thanks.
Should give a whole list of things that are available.
Pearl, could I just ask a question?
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, since the polling is an option, it's a nice option. But instead of polling, suppose we want to get answers to questions to assess the children.
Yes.
So is there anything in particular you would suggest? Now, Google Forms, when you conduct quiz, there's this quiz app, there's an app for quizzes. Yes. And you get a beautiful, colorful screen, as you said, just like the Jamboard.
Yes.
So if you want to conduct some small tests in the class, like maybe your Sunday school class towards the end, can you suggest anything, or have you found out any app that could be used on this online version?
So one is sometimes you can use Mentimeter also, like that. You will not. Let me just check if Mentimeter has that in the paid version. Mentimeter also has what's known like you can have a correct answer.
All
so
right.
everyone answers, and you can actually have like see who's got like highest. That's also possible on Mentimeter. I'm just trying to check to see whether it is a paid, whether that's a
third. I mean, I won't have. The reason why I asked is that I got an answer saying that the respondents remain anonymous. But if you want to assess the children, you need to know who answered what. That is the reason why I asked this.
Yeah, so you can actually check out Mentimeter. Mentimeter has an option that's called a quiz. And in that quiz option, participants have to put in their names, and then it becomes like it becomes more like a fun quiz because you have a question and then they get to see the leaderboard, so you get to see who's leading. That kind of a thing is available. But a Mentimeter, the free version, limits itself to 3 questions. So if you want more than 3 questions, then again it becomes a paid subscription that you need to take. And all of these, the subscription is about like $10 a month, $10 to $14 a month. So that's about 1,000 rupees a month is approximately, what it's like. But the free version has about 3, which is sometimes good enough. So
I would like to say, what, if the if it's possible, it would be actually nice if the parish could invest in an account, because if you have a Zoom account on behalf of the parish, then the same account can be used for meetings which you'll have on different days of the week. Of course, only one, the host you can use a meeting link only once, right? Only one host can use the meeting at a time. But if different cells and associations have meetings on different days, and if the parish invests in a Zoom account, then the same account can be used by all the different people in the different groups in the parish to conduct their meetings, right? So that is an option.
Yeah, and the Father, that's good. Thanks for bringing that up also, because someone said that can multiple people use the same account. So as Father Joshan said, when one host has an account, and if you've used one paid account with one host, only one meeting can run at one time. That's why we kind of got disconnected, because someone else opened another meeting at home. So
Okay, so guys, I'm sorry, but we really need to conclude this meeting. I'm sure that there could be many more questions, and there are always questions when it comes to technical aspects on how to do this or how to do that and all. But we need to. You can always send in your questions to the same email address, socialmedia@examiner.in, from which you got today's webinar invite. Okay. So if you have any feedback to give us, if you have any other questions, you could email us those questions, and we will try to get those answered and send it back to you. Okay. So we
Father
could.
also sent a link to a feedback form. So
Yeah.
if everyone could just click on that link, that would be fantastic to get like your input. Would
Okay.
really help us. Thank you.
Well, if you can also send me that link, we could also include it in an email, in a follow-up email also, we could send it to them. Yeah.
Will do. I'll send
Yeah.
that across.
Okay. So before
When-
before
When can we, Father, just 1 second. When can we expect these things to come on the, the
Cyril,
slides on the...
by Monday, give me time till Monday. Okay.
Yes.
I'll try
yes,
my
okay.
best in the next 2 days to get it uploaded and sent to you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Father.
Okay. So before I have the final word, I'll ask Sinera once again to. Sinera, are you there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
Father,
to
I'm
just propose a vote of thanks to Pearl on behalf of all of us.
First of all, I would want to apologize because my camera is cracked, so I won't be able to put my video on.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but I would like to thank Pearl for organizing this webinar. I think it was totally interesting, and everybody really learned a lot. Starting from the first session where you showed us how to engage with each other, what it takes to have an interesting meeting, and how you need to get to know each other in a meeting, and what are the points you need to cover while organizing a meeting. I think that was really insightful. Coming to today's session, uh, right from showing us how to create a meeting, to share the link, and then the whole screen sharing part of it, and also to finding alternatives to, the paid version of Zoom, to find alternatives to that like Mentimeter and Jamboards. I think that was something really interesting and very eye-catching. Like even we as adults, I feel really found that very eye-catching. So I'm sure kids, like if you had to organize something for kids, they would definitely enjoy this. And yeah, I think overall it was an amazing session, very interesting, and I'm sure all of y'all would agree too. And I also request all of y'all to give a thumbs up to Paul, since he always asks us for that. So yes, it would really, and I'm sure all of y'all did enjoy this session. And yeah, lastly, I would like to thank all the participants for showing so
Yes.
much of interest in the session. That was really, and I'm sure Pearl enjoyed that too, like seeing so. And I think that is one aspect, which enables the host to like interact more with the participants. So yeah, so thank you so much, Pearl.
Not at all. Thank you, Sinera. Thank you, Father Joshan, for inviting me, Sinera, for getting this organized, and really to everybody. I think like I got all my energy from y'all, and everyone smiling away and just being so engaged. So I've enjoyed my last 2 Saturday evenings. Thank you.
No, really,
Father.
thank you, Pearl, for making time. And it's very patiently going through it so step by step today. I was really quite impressed by the very simple step by step method, your slides that you showed us. So, like, even a rank beginner could make out, okay, I need to go here, I need to go there, first step, second step, and so on. It's very nice. So, thank you once again. And you know what, to all the participants out there, even I just wanted to conclude by saying, just don't be intimidated by technology, okay? One of the common feelings that we all share, and I also had the same feeling, and even I feel that even now that we get very scared when we have to use some new technology, some new software, because you don't know how it works and how do you go about things and all of that. And I faced the same problem when the lockdown began. And believe me, see, even for a guy like me who has trained in communications a little bit, I had never really used Google Meets or Zoom platforms before to actually conduct meetings, because we all physically met in church over here, right? So this is beginning and using all these things can be a little scary and intimidating for all of us, but it's only a matter of trying out things. It's like basically try it out, practice. If there's one thing I learned from my dad is that you don't need anyone always to give you a step-by-step account of how you need to things. You just need to get onto that platform and just tinker around with all the various buttons that you see on screen, and you will eventually learn how to use that platform. That's the best way of learning, by trial and error. Okay, so there's absolutely no need to be scared by that. Like Pearl said, try it out with your family, get few of your members, have a meeting, try the different options. You will only learn this new technology the more time you spend on it, the more you practice with it. Okay, that's the best way of
Father, one more compliment for Pearl. Her smile keeps us interested even more. Thank you.
Yeah, so learn to smile too. Yeah, so guys, so I want to thank all the participants once again for taking part. Okay, from the examiner also, we I wanted to try and see how we could help people across the diocese also to face difficulties in communications technology. Since we are all online, we have to do things online. But we know that all of us, many of us, have difficulties in accessing programs and using all these softwares available. No, so therefore we would like to hear from you, because I do plan on organizing future workshops as well, webinars as well. But I would like to learn from you all, or get to know from you all, what are the topics or aspects that you all would like workshops on, right? So the same email that we have sent you the webinar invite today, socialmedia@examiner.in. Please send us your feedback. Okay. Use the link that Pearl has given us for a feedback for the session today, but I will also send you the feedback by email, the feedback link by email. So you can send us your feedback, and you can also suggest topics for future webinars. If there are certain things that you feel that we could organize webinars on, please suggest us those topics, and I'll try and we'll get resource persons to talk to you about that. Okay, whatever difficulties you are facing. So thank you once again to everyone. A very happy feast. Happy Feast of the Assumption, and a very happy Independence Day. Okay, there's a few hours left to the day, but let's all enjoy the remaining time that we have. For Debbie, of course, in the US, the day is just getting started. So thank you, Debbie, also once again.
So early in the morning there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Pearl.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, everyone. God bless.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Father.
And have a
Thank you, Paul, for the
have a beautiful
session.
session.
Looking
Thank you,
forward
everyone.